Okay. Plug this in. All right. Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Facebook Live yoga class. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. The weather's changed, hasn't it? All a little bit grim at the moment, but welcome back. So we've got an interesting thing to try today. So if you were at my yoga class on Saturday, you would have had a go at this. But we're gonna be introducing some sort of more elements of yoga. I'm gonna have to speak slowly because I'm not very eloquent at explaining it. But in yoga, it's gonna be like a little lesson to begin with. There's 8 limbs, so 8 parts of yoga, of Ashtanga yoga. So the first 2, the yamas and niyamas, they are concerned with morals and ethics. The third is asana, which is the postures. So the postures we do are only a tiny part of the whole system of yoga. And the others, the 4th is pranayama, which is breath work. And we're gonna be having a go at that towards the end. We're gonna be doing some breathing exercises. Obviously the breath's really important in yoga, so that's pranayama. And then the last 4 are concerned with meditation. So sense withdrawal, other ones that I've forgotten, concentration, sense withdrawal, and samadhi at the end is supposed to be like transcendence almost. It's all a little bit complicated. I'm not an expert by any means, but it's important to know that there are 8 limbs, 8 parts of yoga, and if you are interested, you can go and have a look yourself. But we are going to be doing asana, so we're going to be doing some postures today, the 3rd limb. We're going to be doing some pranayama, 4th limb, breath work. But to begin with, I wanted to also introduce some kriyas. So kriyas in yoga are cleansing rituals, yoga cleansing rituals. So you may have come across them if you come to my classes. We've probably done them before, but I don't go back to them all that often because they are a little bit confusing, they are a little bit weird. So you might be aware of something called a neti pot. So that's a little watering can type thing that you put warm salt water in, you put it up one nostril, you pour it through and it comes out the other, and it's supposed to clean your sinuses. So that's something that people still do now. It's quite a, accessible one. Other yoga kriyas are not so accessible and we do not do them anymore. So one is you put a piece of string through your nose, you pull it out your mouth and you start to go like that to clean all the phlegm out. Not so good. You've got to remember that hundreds of years ago when people were practicing this, obviously we didn't have the sort of advancements in modern medicine that we do today. So we don't really do that one anymore. Some people do. Another one is to drink a lot of salt water. You drink it, you throw up. It was said to have cleansed your digestive system. Obviously we know that's nonsense now, but again, some people still do practice these things. So the kriya we're going to be having a look at today doesn't involve drinking loads of salt water or putting a string up your nose or putting hot water up your nose. It's something called Uddiyana Bandha and nauli kriya. It's a very good way to stimulate the digestive system, but when you're working it, once you've practiced it and it starts to work, so it does take a bit of practice, it's one of the strongest core exercises you're ever going to do. Really good for strengthening the abdominal muscles, and you'll see why. So like any posture, it takes a bit of practice. It's a confusing little thing. It took me a good few years to get it to work, and even then I'm not the greatest at it, but I will be doing some demonstrations today and we will be having a go. So one of the things, but let's explain what Uddiyana Bandha is first. So Uddiyana Bandha, Bandha lock, Uddiyana abdominals. So Uddiyana Bandha is your abdominal lock, Mula Bandha is your pelvic floor, the root, and Jalandhara Bandha is your throat. So if you come to a class and you hear me say tuck your chin in, what I mean is you're trying to lock Jalandhara Bandha. If I say, tuck your tailbone under, sometimes what I'm trying to say is engage your pelvic floor, lock Mula Bandha. And then sometimes you'll hear me in downward dog say, draw your navel in, hollow out between the hip bones. And it's a confusing cue if you don't understand what Uddiyana Bandha is, if you don't understand what we're trying to do with the core. So I don't mean just suck your belly in. I'm trying to get you to use Uddiyana Bandha, engage the abdominals, suck them in and up to draw the legs back in downward dog so that you can get the hips back, more weight in the legs, very handy so that we're not overloading into the wrists. So Uddiyana Bandha, abdominal lock, abdominal lift, upward lift it's sometimes translated to. So there's three things we're going to do. So the first, Uddiyana Bandha, I'm gonna keep throwing these words out today. Uddiyana Bandha, it's like a drinking game. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can suck the abdominals in and up. You're going to concave the stomach, and I'll show you what that looks like. After that, we're going to see if we can do exactly the same thing. The abdominals come in and up, but then we're going to see if we can isolate the abdominals and pop them out. Maybe suck them in, pop them out, suck them in. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can churn the abdominals. You lift the abdominals in and up, you pop them out, and you churn them right to left, left to right. Kind of like a weird belly dance. And they then are called nauli kriyas, and that's the kriya part of this. That's the core working. So we're going to have a go at this. You're going to have to bear with me as I carefully try and explain what we're going to do, because it is, like I said, a bit confusing. Just before we start, it is contraindicated. If you're pregnant, obviously don't do this. If you are asthmatic or if you have a tendency to get lightheaded, this exercise involves a manipulation of the breath. So you have to be careful. You can practice it, but if you know you get lightheaded, you're just going to have to take it easy. As we come up to standing, you might need to take it a bit slower. You might need to do less. See how you feel, and definitely have a couple of breaths of break in between the sets we do. And I think that's it, so we're going to give it a go. I think that's all I have to say. All right, and after we've done these Uddiyana Bandha exercises, the nauli kriyas, we're going to see if we can do some sun salutations and then implement the action, the knowledge that hopefully we get into those sun salutations. And my hope is that you will feel the difference, that you will feel the strength being added to the movements. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, it's going to be very helpful if you can see your stomach for this. I said it on Saturday as well. Often people look at me and they're just like, Ashleigh, no way. But you're doing this at home, so if you could lift your top up, make sure you can see your tummy, if possible, if that's something that you're comfortable doing. It's going to be helpful. It strengthens the connection, obviously, between the brain and the core and what we're trying to do. Right, now we're ready. So the way we want to stand in this, I'm going to be doing lots of up and down today. So you're probably not going to be able to see see the whole of me. So the way we want to stand, we want our feet hip width apart, slightly wider. All right, slightly wider. I stand. You bend your knees. You want to be able to see your toes. So it's a soft bend in the knees. You have your hands just above the knees with the fingers in and the arms are straight. Okay, so from the front, this is what it looks like. From the side, we want our spine to be relatively neutral to begin with. So we're not doing anything fancy. We're not tucking the tailbone round in the back or tucking the chin in. That comes later. But to begin with, neutral spine, soft bend in the knees, feet slightly wider than hip width, arms straight, fingers in. All right, and then we're going to start with the breath. This is a bit of a weird position to start in. But the exercises we're going to do now, the kriyas we're going to do, are very breath-centered. So if we can just slow the breath down to begin with and make the inhales and exhales equal in length. Breathing through the nose, really important, so see if you can do that. Just settling in, just bringing the attention into the room. Okay, just taking a moment to find that focus, and maybe take your attention to the tummy muscles. So seeing if you can, connect with them on a subtle level. You can give it a little bit yoga today, people. A little bit yoga. Okay, just a few more moments here. All right, and then just come up to standing. Okay, so that's the way we start in this posture. That's the starting position. And now I'm going to talk you through what we're going to have a go at next. It involves us moving from the starting position, sinking down, bending the elbows, coming back up to the starting position, tucking the tailbone slightly, tucking the chin in, and that's the movement, okay? So starting position, you sink down, you come up, you tuck the chin, you tuck the tailbone, you're looking Mula Bandha, you're looking Jalandhara Bandha. So, that's the movement. Here we go. I'm going to talk you through it. So just watch me for a second. What we do, come to our starting position, you take a big inhalation through the nose. And then a big exhalation through the nose with a sound, so a really strong exhalation as you sink down. Now, as you come back up to the starting position, you take a mock inhalation, which means it's the action of inhaling without the breath, okay? So this is where the whoosh, abdominal in and up action really comes into play. So it's a big inhalation through the nose, a big exhalation as you sink down, a mock inhalation as you come up, so pretending you're inhaling, the action without the breath. And then at the top you retain the breath. So at this point you hold the breath. You tuck the tailbone, you tuck the chin, and then you see if you can lift the abdominals in and up. Should say, if you've eaten breakfast already, this might be a little bit gnarly. Bit confusing, right? I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you what it looks like side on. I'm going to show you what it looks like front on. Again, seeing your stomach is going to be very helpful. So let me see if I can do this for you. Okay. So I'm in my starting position. I'm going to take a couple breaths to settle in. Okay, so notice the depth of my breath. It is a sort of a really sort of heady breath with sound as you do this. So I'll just do that front on. Okay. Okay, so let's give it a go together. So it's you start in the starting position, big inhale when you're ready, you exhale, sink down, mock inhalation, the action of inhaling without the inhalation as you come up, tailbone, chin, navel in and up, the abdominals in and up, and you hold the breath for as long as is comfortable at the top. So, you know, it's not a competition. You don't have to hold it massively, but just for as long as it's comfortable. And when you're ready to come out, just gently stand up, take a moment, see how you feel, and then do it again. We're going to see if we can do it 2 or 3 times. I'm going to talk you through the first time, and then I'm just going to do it a couple of times so you can check in and watch me if you get lost, but I'll talk you through the first one. Right. So back to our starting position. The feet slightly wider than hip width. Soft bend in the knees, so you should be able to see your toes. Hands just above the knees, fingers face inwards, and the spine is relatively neutral to begin with. So just take a couple of deep breaths here. Okay, and then when you're ready, it's a big inhalation through the nose with a sound, and then a big exhalation as you sink down, bend the elbows. Mock inhalation, come up to the starting position, straighten the arms. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, hold the breath. So retain the breath at the top, see if you can draw your abdominals in and up. So you're going to be hollowing out between the hip bones and then holding it at the top for as long as is comfortable. And then whenever you're ready, you come back up to standing and just take a couple of breaths, okay? So I'll talk you through that again, and then I'll do one with you. So feet slightly wider than hips width, bend the knees, hands above the knees, fingers face in, arms straight. Back to our starting position. Spine neutral to begin with, just settle in, take a couple of breaths here. All right, then from here, big inhalation through the nose with a sound. Big exhalation through the nose as you sink down, bend the elbows. Mock inhalation, come back up to the starting position, straighten the arms. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, retain the breath and suck the abdominals in and up. You should feel the hollowing out between the hip bones, the lift in the stomach, and then holding it here for as long as is comfortable. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, you're just going to come back up to standing, all right? So I'm going to do that now. So I'm not going to talk you through it, but I'm going to do one. So if you're a bit confused with what's supposed to be happening with the stomach, you can always check in with me. So just set yourself up into the starting position and then make your own way through it. Once you've done that, just have a breath. So yeah, you should be feeling this as quite it's a heat building exercise. So it's definitely gets you quite warm. And traditionally we practice it before we do the postures to wake the core up a little bit to build some heat. So the next step, if you didn't feel anything happen there, just sort of kind of keep practicing. If you did manage to feel something happening, then you can move on to this next step. So the next step involves us doing exactly the same thing, but seeing if we can pop the abdominals out. And if we can pop the abdominals out, we're going to see if we can pop them in and out, in and out, in and out. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'll show you what it looks like front and side. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same movement. Okay, and show you what it looks like side. Again, if you're not looking at your tummy, sometimes can be a little bit more challenging, but sometimes seeing the stomach move can be helpful. So this is what it looks like side on. Alright, okay, so let's give that a go. It's getting warm now. So I'm going to talk you through a couple of the last one with you. So we'll see if we can do this 3 times. You can always have a rest at any point. You don't have to do all 3 if you're feeling a little bit lightheaded. And you can always just practice the first one of sucking the tummy in, the abdominals in and up if you prefer. So I'll talk you through this. So come back to your starting position, feet slightly wider than hip width, gentle bend in the knees, hands above the knees, fingers face in, spine in a neutral position to begin with. Just taking a couple of breaths, so it's exactly the same process. So big inhale through the nose, And then exhale through the nose, sink down, bend the elbows. Mock inhalation, you come up to standing, you retain the breath, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone slightly. Draw the abdominals in and up. And then see if you can isolate the abdominals and push them out. So it kind of looks like you have a concave stomach, but the abdominals are a little pouch. And then if you've managed to push them out, see if you can push them in and out, in and out. You're retaining the breath the whole time. So you're holding the breath the whole time as you do this. All right, and then whenever you're ready, you're coming back up to standing. You're taking a few breaths here, letting that settle. Things we do, eh? All right, and then let's give that another go. So back to the starting position, hands above the knees, fingers face in, spine quite neutral to begin with. Whenever you're ready, it's a big inhalation through the nose and a big exhalation through the nose, you sink down. Mock inhalation, you come up. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, retain the breath, draw the tummy in, and then see if you can pop the abdominals out. If you manage to pop the abdominals out, see if you can pop them in and out, in and out. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to come back up to standing. Okay, so one more if you fancy it. I'll do this one with you. So if you're a little bit confused, you can watch me and take that away and maybe practice a little bit at home. Okay, so we're in the starting position. Whenever you're ready, you can come up to standing and then just take a breath. So yeah, you can see that it does get you a little bit lightheaded sometimes as well. All right, well done. So Uddiyana Bandha, that's kind of what we've been working, and now the third step is the naulis. Now, if you couldn't feel the abdominals pop out, you just stay and you work with that instead. If you were managing to separate the abdominals, now's your time to see if you can churn them right to left, left to right. I'll show you what it looks like very quickly, front and side, and then we'll have a go, and then we've done it. Okay. All right, it's exactly the same. So exactly the same movement. You retain the breath, you pop the abdominals out, you see if you can churn. Alright, so my hips as I do that, so eventually, you know, if you might have stronger abdominals than me, so you might be able to do this without doing the hip movement that I'm doing, but this is what I'm doing with my hips to get the stomach moving. I'm doing this. Okay, so I've got like a little twerk going on. So you can do that. It can sometimes help to get the abdominals churning. So let's do that. I'm going to talk you through it, and we're going to do it twice, and then I think we've done enough with the stomach. But if you're working these, hopefully you feel that strength in the core. These are really strong core exercises. Right, so here we go. Last time. So we'll do this twice. If you're not churning, just stick at whichever stage you were doing. So feet hip width slightly wider, bend the knees, hands above the knees, fingers facing, arms straight. You're going to take a big inhale through the nose nose, and then a big exhale through the nose as you sink down. Mock inhalation, come up. Retain the breath, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Suck the abdominals in and up. Then see if you can isolate the abdominals, push them out. Then see maybe if you can churn the abdominals right to left, left to right. All while retaining the breath. Okay, so at no point are you, after that first inhale, exhale, are you breathing? We want to create a vacuum in the stomach. See how you get on. And then whenever you're ready, you come up to standing. Whew, take a couple of breaths and we'll do that once more. Start in position, bend the knees, hands above the knees, fingers face in. Neutral spine to begin with, arms straight. Whenever you're ready, it's a big inhalation through the nose and then a big exhalation through the nose, sink down. Mock inhalation up to start in position, tuck chin, tuck tailbone, straighten arms, retain the breath. Then see if you can draw the abdominals in and up. See if you can push the abdominals out, and then see if you can churn, maybe doing that little hip movement that we were doing, all right? All while retaining the breath, so we're not breathing at this point. And then, you know, whenever you're done, you can come up to standing. All right, so these are really strong core exercises. You do sets, you can do a set of 100. Eventually you ditch the drop. So I teach the drop, I find it really helpful because as you drop down, you do the mock inhalation, come up. It's that action that kind of facilitates the abdominals lifting in and up. Eventually people just do it like this, they don't need the drop. And then eventually people will sit down. I can't do that. People will sit down cross-legged, draw the abdominals in, up, pop them out, and churn without doing anything. Now you have to have a really strong core to be able to do that. Me, not so much. So what we're going to do now, with the knowledge that we've got, is we're going to see if we can incorporate it into some sun salutations and see if we can feel the difference. So if you want to come up to standing, the first couple of sun salutations we do, we're just going to do them like we would usually do. We're not going to do anything special, we're just going to warm the body up a little bit. So if you want to come to the front of the mat, balls of the feet together, ankles apart, lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back, and then head slightly tilted forward. It's really important, after you've done those Uddiyana Bandha, kriya sort of exercises, that you just take a moment to let the breath settle. So at this point, just see if you can slow the breath down and find a steady rhythm. We've been playing around with it a little bit. Okay, so first two sun salutations we do, not going to do anything special, we're just going to wake the body up. So as you inhale, arms up, look thumbs, arms straight, head back, and then exhale, fold, drop the head, bend the knees as much as you need to get the hands down. You inhale, look forward, hands stay on the floor, and then exhale, back to plank, step or jump, then lower to low, press up all the floor. You inhale, pull through a back bend, lead with the chest, and then exhale, rolling over the toes and coming into downward dog. First downward dog, take it easy. So we've got the feet hip width apart, we have the hands shoulder width apart, and then this time and next time, you're more than welcome to just pedal one heel down to the floor, then the other. So working into the calves, the hamstrings, waking the ankles up. I've got a bit of a sore top of the foot going on here. Okay. And then maybe pushing your hip back as you take your heel down towards the floor. It's going to create a deeper stretch up towards the glute. And just make sure the head is relaxed, so no effort in the back of the neck, we're just looking back between the legs here. Okay, a few more breaths, doing good, fingers spread. Okay, lovely, then stop pedaling. See if you can draw the heels maybe a little bit closer towards the mat. Doesn't matter if they don't touch. Have the knees bent as well. And then as you inhale, feet forward, stepping or jumping, you're looking forward. And then exhale, drop the head, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. You inhale, look forward. And then exhale, back to plank. Lower to low, press up or the floor, up to you. You inhale, back bend, tops of the feet. And then exhale, into downward dog. Again, just take this one easy. You can bend the knees. You can pedal the feet down if you want to work into the backs of the legs. Head relax, arms straight. Few more moments here. Okay, and then inhale, feet forward, stepping or jumping, looking forward. Exhale, drop the head, forward fold. You inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side, lovely. So this time, the next two we're going to do, we're going to see if we can get Uddiyana Bandha working within the downward dog. So if you just look at me for a second, just watch me for a little second. So once we get to the downward dog, there is a big difference between this, look at my tummy, and this. You see? You see what happened there? I can't see if it's showing on the camera, but I'll try and do that again. So this is me with my tummy relaxed, okay? And this is me engaging Uddiyana Bandha within downward dog. So I'm still breathing, but I'm lifting the abdominals in, up, and that is facilitating the movement back. So let's give it a go, shall we? It makes do you know what? It's stronger, but it also makes the posture a lot lighter. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So we don't want the stomach really, I mean, we don't really want it, this isn't about what the stomach looks like, it's about what we're internally doing to make the postures feel easier. So we want the tummy muscles to help, we want Uddiyana Bandha to be on. So let's give that a go. So we're just going to move through the sun salutation normally. Once we get to downward dog, we're going to see if we can work that. You've had to look at my stomach so much today. I really don't care. So let's give it a go. So legs together, lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back. I've stopped caring a long time ago. Alright, then as you inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, lengthen. And then exhale, back to plank, lower to low press up or the floor. You inhale, pull through a back bend. And then exhale, come into downward dog. So just set your downward dog up first, so you can move the feet, move the hands. We want the feet roughly hip width apart, hands roughly shoulder width apart. And then just see if from here, and this isn't about having the heels down or the legs straight, you can still get this action working with the heels off the floor and the knees bent. But see if you can start working Uddiyana Bandha in this posture. So rather than the tummy being pretty relaxed, see if you can draw the abdominals in, up, and then see if that helps you find a little bit more pushback. See if that abdominal lift helps you draw the thighs to the back of the room. Maybe a little bit more than usual. Keep the neck relaxed, keep the breath steady. And this is what I mean when I ask people to hollow out between the hip bones, to draw the navel in. What I'm trying to get people to do is focus on that movement there. Okay, and then as you inhale, feet forward, look forward. Exhale, drop the head. And then inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Let's do that again, focusing on Uddiyana Bandha within the downward dog. So as you inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, lengthen. Exhale, back to plank and lower. You inhale, pull through a back bend. You exhale, downward dog. Now take a moment to set your downward dogs up. Feet hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart, knees bent, legs straight, whatever. Head relaxed. But once you're in your downward dog, let's see if we can work Uddiyana Bandha. Let's see if you can draw the abdominals in, up, a lot stronger. It might be able to, you might be able to feel that lift back though. Few more deep breaths here. Okay, fabulous. And as you inhale, feet forward, look forward. Exhale, drop the head. And then inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Lovely. So, I'm not even going to put my top down now. All right, so next. So we're working the Uddiyana Bandhas in the downward dogs. Now we're going to see if we can introduce them to the forward folds. Again, just watch me for a moment. I'm going to keep my tummy relaxed the first time. Nothing's really going on there. So there's a difference between this. So arms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Belly's very relaxed as I'm coming down. Okay, so that's me not using Uddiyana Bandha in the forward fold. So I'll do that again. Arms up, and I'm just going down. Nothing's happening. All right, everything's pretty chill there. Now, let's see if I can work Uddiyana Bandha in the forward fold. Now, if you do this, you should be able to pull the body a little bit closer towards the thighs. Again, knees can be bent, legs can be straight. If your hamstring flexibility is fine, that's not really what we're doing here. We're just trying to get the tummy muscles to be working. So this is me using Uddiyana Bandha. Okay, so come up, inhale. I draw the tummy in. Exhale, the tummy stays in. All right? In, down. So you see that? You see that difference? I'll do that again. It's a very subtle difference. So it's the lift in and up, that's facilitating. As I come down, bringing the tummy towards the legs. So I do that once more. Okay, let's give it a go. So we really should be starting to feel that these are a lot stronger now. So we're going to see if we can use the Uddiyana Bandha in the fold forward and in the downward dog. So legs together. Just get the top down there. Let's give it a go. So I'll talk you through it. So inhale, arms up, look up. Uddiyana Bandha draws in. Keep it in as you exhale, fold forward. Use the tummy muscles to help you pull the belly closer to the thighs, drop the head. Inhale, look forward, tummy still in. And then exhale, back to plank. Lower to low press up on the floor. You inhale a back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Take a moment, set your feet, set your hands, and then drawing the navel in, up, and seeing if you can get a little bit more push back through the legs, head relaxed. So we're breathing freely now. So no retaining the breath. But it is a reason why sometimes we say breathe, you know, into a little bit higher in towards the chest and feeling the rib cages rise and fall. It's hard to breathe into the tummy and work Uddiyana Bandha at the same time. Okay, lovely. And then as you inhale, feet forward, look forward, navel in. And then use that to exhale, pull the belly closer to the thighs, drop the head. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, arms by your side. Now when you start getting these subtle components working, it becomes a lot more challenging. So we're just going to do one more of those. So feet together, inhale, arms up, look up. Belly in, navel in, exhale, fold. Use that to help you pull the belly closer to the thighs, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, navel in still. And then exhale, back to plank and lower. You inhale, a back bend. Exhale, dog. Feet hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart, then using the Uddiyana Bandha to see if you can draw the weight back. Navel in and up, head relaxed, breath steady. Okay, and then inhale, feet forward. You look forward. Exhale, drop the head, navel in. Inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Wonderful. So the last thing we're going to do, just before we sort of wind it down a bit and focus on some of the breath work, we're going to do 2 more sun salutations. Now, this time, I'm definitely not the best at this. We're going to see if we can use the Uddiyana Bandha to help jumping back and jumping forward if that is what you're doing. Now, this deserves a whole class in itself. But so if you've never jumped back or jumped forward before, don't worry about it too much. But if you are working on it, using Uddiyana Bandha is going to help you. So you come up, you come down, core in. Now here it is, the inhale, lift forward. There's a big difference between me lifting forward with my tummy relaxed, okay, and the navel in, all right? I don't know if you can see that, but there is. Now if you keep the navel in as you look forward, it should, you know, if you're using your tummy, it should help you lift the hips up to take the feet back a little bit more easily. Okay, so it's the abdominals lifted in and up that also facilitates getting the lightness of the jump backs, you know, being able to, some people, it is mental, people lift the feet up off the floor, the core is doing that for them, they hover and then they take the legs back and it's almost like you're watching it in slow motion. I'm not quite there yet. But again, with your jump forwards, I find these a little bit more difficult, but it's the same thing. Navel in. That wasn't the best example. I'm not very good at these. There we go. And down. All right. So you're working the jump backs. Let's see if you can do that. See if you can keep that working. See if that makes any difference. So these 2 last sun salutations are going to be really strong. I'm just going to talk you through them. I'll do them, but I'm not going to be doing the jump backs and that because it's a little bit too much talking. But just bear in mind what you have to do if you are doing that. Legs together. Lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back, head slightly tilted forward. Take a couple of breaths. Okay, and then inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold, drop the head. So be mindful of what you're trying to do here. Then inhale, look forward, navel in. And then exhale, you're jumping or stepping back to plank or low press up. Lowering if you're in plank. You inhale a back bend. And you exhale, downward dog. Taking a moment to set the feet, set the hands, draw the navel in, get the Uddiyana Bandha working. See if that helps you take the weight back. Head relaxed. Okay, and then if you are, navel in, Weight forward, little hop, feet forward, look forward, exhale, fold, and then inhale all the way up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Last one, inhale, arms up, navel in. Exhale down, use it to pull your belly closer to your thighs, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, navel still in. Exhale, floating, jumping, stepping back to plank and lower. You inhale, pull through a back bend. Exhale, use Uddiyana Bandha, move from the core as you take the weight back into downward dog. Then again, using that to help you pull the thighs back, heads relaxed, breath steady, shoulders broad. Okay, and then if you are, weight forward, little hop, see if you can float the feet between the hands, look forward, navel in, and then exhale, use the strength to pull the belly to the thighs, forehead to shins, and then exhale, still moving from the core to help us lift up, and then exhale, release. Whew. All right, you can come sit down now. All right, just gonna have a drink now. Now we've done that. I've needed like a wee for the past 10 minutes because I've got my dressing gown. I don't need that right now. Again, all this stomach exercise can sometimes, you know, make you need to wee. All right. So yeah, if you joined me on Saturday for the Saturday class, you would have done that because we did do it on Saturday in the lift-off class as well. But I wanted to teach it this week because I want to kind of like let as many people as possible have a go at it. So if you weren't there, you've just managed to have a go at it. It's really important. So yeah, we're going to have a little relax now. If you want to come sit down. So I'm sitting on a pillow. You can sit on a pillow. You can sit on a block in a comfortable cross-legged position. Now, if it's not comfortable being on the floor, you can even sit in a chair for this, not a problem. We're going to have a go at a couple of pranayama exercises. So pranayama, fourth limb of yoga, breath work. And I've said it before, the breath is probably, well, like I said, there's lots of things that differentiate yoga from other forms of movement. One of them is the breath. It's very breath focused, eventually becomes like a moving meditation, marrying movements with inhalations and exhalations. It becomes very fluid over time. But the breath, like anything else, is something that needs to be worked on, that has to be practiced. And there's a lot of breathing exercises in yoga. We're just going to have a look at probably one today. I feel like that's all we've got time for. But there are a lot of breathing exercises, and traditionally you wouldn't be taught the breathing exercises until you had quite an advanced physical practice. So it was considered, and you know, I still subscribe to this, that the breathing exercises are more advanced than any of the physical postures you do. Again, traditionally, it's very different now, but I want to give you a bit of context. The reason we would teach physical postures, the reason we would do them is so that we could sit comfortably for a long time to meditate. So the physical postures were never meant to be something, they were always leading into something else. They were never supposed to be something by themselves, if that makes sense. It's very different now. I don't think it's a bad thing that it's different, but that's the traditional part. That's what it used to be. So we're going to have a look at Nadi shodhana now, alternate nostril breathing. This is a really fantastic little exercise if you are anxious, if you get anxiety, if you get depression, if you just feel a little bit all over the place. And it's also a really good stepping stone towards meditation, because while meditation can feel quite claustrophobic for some people, sitting still, not doing anything, with Nadi shodhana, the alternate nostril breathing, you are doing something with the hands, so it can help if you feel a bit jittery sitting still. So I'm going to have a go. Your left hand is either just going to go on your knee, just rest it on your knee, or you can make a little circle with your pointy finger and thumb, and the other three fingers are straight, and you put the back of the wrist on the knee. I don't need to show you. Either the hands on the knee or the back of the wrist is on the knee, doesn't matter. It's the right hand that we're more concerned with. So the right hand, you want to put your pointy finger, no, what am I doing? That's it. Your pointy finger and your middle finger are going to go down, leaving the thumb, the ring finger and the little finger up. Okay, so that's the hand position. Your pointy finger and your middle finger down, the thumb, the ring finger and the little finger up. Now we don't use the little finger's just there for decoration, but we are going to use this one and this one to close the right and the left nostrils. Okay, so you can see how that works. I mean, if there's another way that's comfortable for you, but this is probably the best way to do it. Okay, so that's the hand positioning. We're going to be using these two fingers. And it's very, this is quite a good exercise as well, because you start to realise that it's not just the physical body that sometimes has imbalances, it's also like the subtle body, the energetic body. I'm not very good with that kind of side of things. I'm not very educated about it, but if you want to go and have a look, you can yourself, because Google is going to explain it better than me. So we'll give it a go. So I want you to put your thumb on your right nostril, your ring finger on your left nostril, and I want you to take a big inhale through both nostrils, and then an exhale through both nostrils. Again, big inhale through both nostrils, and then a big exhale through both nostrils. Okay, now close the left nostril, inhale through the right nostril. Close the right nostril, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left and exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Few more times. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Okay, and then remove the hand. Right hand to right knee, and just take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose here. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And yeah, that's alternate nostril breathing. So you might have noticed that one side does feel a little bit more blocked than the other. So in yoga, it is said that, I forget which one, like it's said that there's a masculine and feminine channel that runs down the body, and I think it is related to the chakra system as well, which is actually a big part of yoga. It's not something that I have done much digging into. I will do. I'm not anti there. It's not something I've done a lot of digging into, but if you're interested in that, you can go and have a look what the blockages in the right and left side mean, and what it's supposed to mean subtle energy wise. I don't know, I can't tell you, but you might notice that one side feels more blocked. There might be a very practical reason. For example, I've got nose ringing, that probably doesn't help, but it is interesting to note. You know, and if you subscribe to that, then that's something you can go and have a look at. Otherwise, we're just going to go lie down now. I've got my dressing gown. I snuck it again after I said I was going to ditch it. I snuck it again. And I've got a pillow. It's like I'm going to bed. I've got a pillow and a dressing gown. So I've got to lie flat on the floor. Alright, and then just find a comfortable lying position. So legs straight, knees bent, soles of the feet together, knees fall out sideways. Whatever, totally up to you, wherever you feel comfortable. Hands a little way away from the body, maybe resting the hands on the tummy. And then just taking a moment, we're only going to stay here for a minute or so. It's quite cold in my room, so it's not comfortable for me to lie, hence the dressing gown. But we have worked the body really hard with the Uddiyana Bandhas and the kriyas and the sun salutations, incorporating that. We have worked the body really hard, but we also sort of settled down a little bit towards the end with that pranayama exercise. So while you might not feel like you need to let the breath settle, you might not feel out of breath, it's just as important to give the body a chance to relax after the pranayama exercises as it is the postures. We have been manipulating the breath a lot today. So now's your chance to find the natural rhythm, letting everything come back to normal. So we're not trying to control anything anymore. The body's heavy. We're not working the tummy muscles. We're not working the Uddiyana Bandha. We're not working with the breath. We're just returning to our natural state. Maybe just taking the attention around the body, checking in, seeing how you feel. Okay, lovely. You're more than welcome to stay here, or you're just going to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Whenever you're ready, taking a cat stretch, which means just making yourself as long as possible, big stretch on the mat. And then if you're not staying in shavasana and having a bit more of a rest, just rocking around, hugging the knees into the chest. Then whenever you're ready, if you are coming up, just making your way up to seated. Right. So, I can put my dressing gown on now. So thank you so much for joining me. I understand that today's class was a little bit weird. There's a lot of weird things we were doing, but yeah, once you've been working yoga for a little while, once you've been coming to a few classes, well, not a few classes, once you've been coming to, you know, regularly, and you kind of get into grips with the moves and you get into grips with what you're supposed to be doing and the breath, it's time to be adding on a little bit more. It's time to be exploring some of the more kind of like challenging aspects of the practice, because that's the only way really you progress, by challenging yourself constantly, by not staying in the box, and to add some stuff in. But yeah, thank you for bearing with me. And if you did want to go and have a look at the videos on YouTube, highly recommend. There are people out there that are doing these nauis, which is Naulis. Kriya, Kriya, Naui Kriya, type it into Google, YouTube. There are people that are doing stuff like that's insane, you know, more than I could show you in this class now. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. See you next week. Hopefully the sun comes out, and I hope you carry on enjoying the home classes and the outdoor classes that I think are coming. So yeah, have fun. I'll see you later.